We got everybody set. We're ready to go.
Let's do it.
Fired up.
Ryan, what has preparation been like this week, and how ready do you think you guys are as players?
Yeah, I mean, I think preparations have been excellent. I think the practices have been excellent. Our guys, we got down here Christmas night. It was good to get down here early. I had a good practice Monday. 2 really physical practices the last 2 days. We'll have a really good practice today and good preparation here as we head into meetings this morning. But all the focus is just playing. The fastest and most violent game we played all season here. Saturday night, 8 o'clock, and I just think all the work that we put in this last month is going to now show, and our guys are going to play with confidence because we've had a really good month of prep.
Ryan, you don't like to get into the injuries and stuff, but Lions missed the last couple of days. Anything you can update us on?
Nah, he's had a stomach bug, and we expect him to be at practice today. So we'll just kind of take it as we go.
As you look at this Georgia defense, people feel it's the strength of their team. Do you see it that way? And how difficult is it going to be to attack these guys? Are they almost daring to do that?
Well, I think they have good players all over the place. They have 5 stars running around all over the field. Certainly in the back end, their corners are excellent. The safeties are really good. Linebackers are really athletic and play downhill and play physical. And the front is very good as well. So we're going to have to be balanced, like we always are. We're going to have to, find ways to, score in the red zone. We're going to have to be creative in all kinds of different areas. But at the end of the day, it's going to come down to who's more physical, who's winning the game up front, who's going to play harder, who's going to play through the whistle, who's going to play for 4 quarters. And they're a very, very good team, but so are we. And this is going to be, a great game on Saturday night. I think it's going to be, one of the more, I think they said, more people in this game they've ever had in the stadium. So our guys are excited about that. I mean, this is, when you get to this point of the year, this is where you want to be. And all the focus has been on this game for our guys.
Do you need some help with Jalen Carter? Compare him to somebody you've seen at this level?
A very good player. Disrupts the game. And their entire front is really good, and so is their back end. I mean, they really don't have any weaknesses on defense. They're very, very good, and you can see why they're ranked one of the best in the country. They do a good job, and he's very good as well. So, our guys know what the challenge is, and that's why we've been preparing for it so hard.
Did they have 10 or 12 guys drafted off the defense last year? As many?
Yep.
It's kind of ridiculous the amount of talent.
Yeah, a lot of talent, but they're well coached too, and then they play hard. So, and you can see that based on what they've done the last 2 years, and so we know again what the challenge is going to be, and then we're going to have to play really, really hard in the game and execute really well. Because at the end of the day, it comes down to who plays harder and who's going to execute better in the game. Because as you get into games like this, there's a lot of lead up, there's a lot of conversation, but that's what matters the most.
Zach Sawyer said, "I think our defense is pissed off," and that's the kind of attitude you want right now.
Well, they should be, and we all should be. We know, what we need to do in this game to win, and that's kind of the way that this month has been for a lot of us. At practice every day, there's been an edge. There's been, friction. There's been conflict. There's been a lot of that going on, and that's a healthy thing. And so, the one good thing about this, we're going to go play. We're not going to sit there and worry about what if or anything like that. Nobody really gives us a chance to win this game anyways. So we're going to let it all out. We're going to play as hard as we possibly can and look up after 4 quarters and see where we're at.
Coach Ryan, Coach Meyer said the other day that there's nothing more dangerous. He loves the team that he's on. Do you buy that philosophy?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, that's for the fans and everything like that. I mean, whatever it is, I know that we're going to play fast in this game. We got to play violent in this game. We got to execute at a high level, and that's what it's going to come down to. But what we're not going to do is play it close to the vest. We're going to go, and our guys got to play that way and have that mentality when they walk in that stadium. Because we know what the stadium's going to be like. We know the electricity. We know that it's going to be heavy. The fans will be heavily in Georgia's favor. It's going to be a loud environment, all those types of things. So it's going to be like being on the road. Certainly, we appreciate all the Buckeyes who are going to be at the game and having that presence there. But it's going to be that type of feel, and our guys know that. So we've talked about it and we've prepared for that.
Fast track, weather's not going to be an issue.
No, that's one less thing we have to worry about.
Let it sail.
Well, no, it's again, it's the same thing all year. You have to have a balance. You have to be able to win the line of scrimmage. The team wins the line of scrimmage typically wins the game. That goes back a long time. So we have to do that again in this game, and they're very good at it on both sides of the ball. So our defensive line is going to do a great job. Our offensive line is going to do a great job, and it's going to come down to one-on-one matchups in the end. Their inside guy against our guards, their tackles against our defensive ends, our linebackers against their tight ends. Those types of things. Right. I don't think so. I hadn't really thought of the fact that they hadn't played an indoor game before, but we practice in it all the time, and I don't know. I mean, I think that we're comfortable in that. We practiced in it the last month, and we've been over there the last week, so still the same field, still the same dimensions, everything's about the same. So I don't think it'll play much of a factor at all.
And when you have a game like this where it is 4-star, 5-star guys, the talent gap's not there. What has Georgia done so well? They've been able to rattle off this many wins. What becomes the difference when you have two teams in your hands?
Well, it comes down to the little things and comes down to one or two plays typically that can change the game. When you look at the game they played against LSU, they're kicking a field goal, they block it, return it for a touchdown. That's a 10-point swing in a game. Things like that in a matchup game can be the difference. It can come down to one play, come down to two plays. So you never know when those things are going to be. But when you're in matchup games, you just got to keep playing. You got to keep swinging, and you have to have the mentality that you're going to just go out there and swing as hard as you can for 60 minutes, and then you'll come up for air at the end. But the team who prepares harder and continues to work towards 8 o'clock is going to win, and that's the mentality we've had all month as we prepared. Is who's practicing harder, who's preparing better, who's doing a better job in meetings, and then once we get on that field, who's going to play harder, and that's what it is.
Yeah, I know a lot of people have made a lot about LSU for a lot of yards on Georgia, but when you're down 3 scores, the game script is such you're going to throw the ball out.
Right.
Is there anything in that game? I mean, how do you attack a defense that's this good?
Well, I think it got a little sideways in that game, so they kind of played one way, and you never want to be in that world. You want to have that balance all the time. You don't want to be playing one way, and certainly we haven't done that all year. We won't do it this week. We'll just continue to find that balance and keep attacking teams or keep attacking the defense and try to put them as much stress as possible. That's what it comes down to. You start to have tendencies one way or another, you set yourself up. So we want to have a clean game plan where the guys can go play as hard and as fast as possible and not think a whole bunch.
Ryan, you said Allen Hayden would have a role. I guess maybe everybody in that room would have a role. But
Yep.
coming off the 2 games he had, do you see him playing more than he did against Michigan?
Yeah, I do.
Didn't he establish some confidence?
I think so, and he's had a great month of preparation. So, we're going to need him to win this game.
Is he ahead in the pecking order, or is it, how does that, the 3 of them go?
Again, we don't really have a pecking order. I think one of the things that we've had to do all year is nothing new. Is we've had to adjust as the season has gone on, because there's that's just kind of the way that it's gone this year in that room. Is we've had some guys in and out, so we've had to put some guys into the spots, and the good news is we've been able to adjust and we've responded in that area. So that's nothing new. And it's the good news is we should have everybody available for the game. So.
You guys are so used to having 1 week to turn around and get ready for a team. Having so long prepared
Yeah.
for just one game, are you tempted to put stuff in that you guys have never put on tape before, and how do you balance that with just doing what you do?
Yeah, it's similar to a first game of the season. You can overthink things, but you do have a lot of preparation time to get ready. And there's certain different things you can do, wrinkles, new things, but and then that's all real. But you want to make sure it comes down to fundamentals in the end, who plays harder, and that's it.
Kind of on the flip side, what kind of adjustments do you anticipate having to make in game because of stuff maybe they put in that you've never seen?
Yeah, they do a great job of being multiple on both sides of the ball, and they have a bunch of ways to attack you, and they're going to have wrinkles and things that are new. So we'll have to do a great job of identifying what those things are and then adjusting from there in the game.
You haven't had a game, one-score game all season. This one might come down to one
Yeah.
score game. How do you kind of prepare the guys to keep their composure when that
Right.
situation might arise?
I think it's a great question. I think that's one of the things that we've got to do a great job of in this game. And I talked to the team last year, about the Rose Bowl and how that was a back and forth type of game, and some of the games that we've been in that have come down to that. The Penn State game for us this year, it was close in the fourth quarter. We were down. We had to come back and win. So, if we go up, if we go down, if it's close early on, we got to keep playing for 4 quarters, and that's what the CFP games are typically. It's like. I think about. And I just kind of shared with them some of the history of this game and what it's been like. And we've talked about, what the first Clemson game was like, the second Clemson game, in different games along the way, some of the games that Ohio State has played in the past. But this is about them. This is going to be their story. They have an opportunity to write a story here that, could be very special. And I think our guys recognize that.
Coach, when you look at Georgia defensively, what is maybe one thing specifically that they present problems or consistently presents problems?
Where do I start? First off, it's the talent. They have a tremendous amount of talent. In the back end, they can fly around, and they have great cover skills and create a lot of problems, and then it goes right to the linebackers and the guys up front. Schematically, they're very, very well coached. Do an unbelievable job of getting them to play hard. So they have a history of knowing how you're trying to attack them, and they can make adjustments in game, and certainly try to recognize what you're doing and how you're lining up and things like that. So very, very good talent and very, very well coached. I think that's coaching and that's life. There's going to be things that come along the way that you have to bounce back from, and that's something that I think all of our guys have really embraced the last couple of weeks. And there's certainly been a lot of noise, but our guys have done a great job of focusing on what really matters. We got a chance to go win a national championship here and play Georgia, in Atlanta, and that's been the focus of our team. Well, he's resilient. I think people can recognize how resilient he is as a young man, but I don't think anyone can prepare you for being on this type of stage and everything that comes with it. And I just give him an unbelievable amount of credit for the way that he goes about his business every day, and the way that he's handled himself as a person. I forget if he's 20 or 21 years old, but for him to handle himself the way that he has, I got a lot of admiration for that and a lot of respect for that. There's a lot of people that I know that wouldn't be able to do that, and he's growing every day. He's building every day. This team loves him. I love him, and I can't wait to see him compete on Saturday night. Yep. Yeah, they're very good. They have a really good talent, and again, they coach really, really well. So this is a matchup game, and whether it's the front, the linebackers, the tight ends, or like you said, the receivers and DBs, you're going against your clone. You're going against a guy who's as talented as you are. So you have to embrace that role. You have to embrace the fact that you're going against really good players and go do it. And how do you do that? You have to figure out how you're going to win that matchup. And is it just going to be with talent?
Getting into this game after like at the last second of this game, that add extra juice. You guys kind of
I don't know. Everyone has their own journey to get here. The bottom line is we're here, and we got to go play in the game. And however, each team gets here, that's their own story. But there's 4 teams left, and everyone's got a chance to win it. And I guess I can tell you that the last month of preparation has been excellent, though.
How's your week been here?
Yeah. It's been a really good week. We got in here Christmas night, and everybody in the Peach Bowl has been wonderful, and the city of Atlanta has been great, and been very well taken care of. Great accommodations, and I think our guys have appreciated everything that the Peach Bowl folks have done here for us.
It's about the building. You guys been able to play playing indoors and approach it differently than what you guys have done.
We've tried to treat it like the Woody Hayes Athletic Center the best we could. We've kind of said, okay, that's where we come out of the Woody. Everyone's in their own spots, and we try to make it ours. But also talk to them about visualizing themselves playing, in a capacity crowd on Saturday night, what that's like. So that when you run out, it's not the first time. You've already done it. You've played it. You feel it. You felt what it's like to be, on 3rd and 3. You feel like what it's like to be in the red zone. Coming out the first kickoff of the game. All those types of things. You've already played that. And that's a part of coaching, or really, preparing a team. Is like, hey, you can do this, but it's got to be through your imagination, because the first time you do it can't be on Saturday night. You got to already do it. And being in the stadium for a whole week is, I think, allowed us to do that a little bit.
How do you compare and contrast the quarterback duo we're going to get to see Saturday night?
The quarterback what?
Quarterback duo we're going to
Yeah, 2 really good players, both Heisman Trophy finalists. A lot of respect for Stetson and what he's done, and certainly he's a winner, and he's a competitor and very, very talented. Makes some unbelievable throws. Tough running the football. I mean, he can do it all. Great player. And then obviously, we know about CJ and all his ability and what he's done, and he's had an unbelievable week of practice. And again, I said it before, I know he's really excited about playing in this game.
Coach, how excited are y'all to play indoors?
Yeah, I mean, when you're playing in bowl games or this time of year, typically this is the setting, and we've had a good week of work in the stadium. That's my first time in the stadium, I believe, actually, because I was going back to when we played in Monday night game back a few years ago when I was in the NFL, and I actually wasn't at the stadium. So this is our first time kind of being there and feeling it. And I think it was good to at least get a feel for what it was like and try to visualize ourselves playing in the game, because it's going to be an electric atmosphere.
Coach, what's it like to once again control your own destiny and what you need to do as CEOs?
Right.
And now you're in it. Now you have you're the only people who can control whether you make it out of the championship or not. What's it like to have that power?
Well, that kind of was something that happened there, the beginning of December, where we weren't sure how it was going to shake, and then some things broke our way, and now all of a sudden you had second opportunity to go win this thing, and kind of gave a lot of energy and excitement and juice around the facility, and then it just kind of translated to some really excellent practices and preparation. So, we're kind of into the game preparation. That's kind of all that stuff's kind of behind us now, and it's all about Georgia.
Of course, Georgia is the focus going into Saturday. Are you guys keeping half an eye on Michigan TCU in case you end up having to play them in the national championship?
Now it's all about this game right now. Yeah.
Ryan, with that game, yesterday Jim had mentioned how anxious you guys are to get to it. I guess for you, how anxious are you to play this last month of long season and then to finally get out there and be able to kind of prove something?
I'm excited to see us play. I'm excited to play in this game. I'm excited for our team to go play. Going to play fast, going to play loose, going to go and have a bunch of fun playing on the field. But we can't play the game right now. And when you get into games like this, you just want to get to the game, but there's still a lot of preparation to be done.
And in terms of the games you've been in, coached, NFL, college, whatever it may be, where does this rank in terms of kind of magnitude, stakes?
Every game you play in at Ohio State has got huge magnitude, and if you don't think so, try losing a game. So that's kind of the world we live in at Ohio State.
Ryan, what's the situation when you guys are running back with Williams and his availability this week?
Yeah, so we're expecting him to practice today and have everybody available.
You guys know, but it seems like you guys have had so many different guys step up week to week depending on whatever situation they're in. Is that a feel from just a week of practice usually?
The one thing is we've kind of been, working through that all season. And the good news is, our guys have responded well to it, and some guys have stepped up. So this is not something new. And certainly when Trey wasn't available, and we had to, go down the road of a surgery for him, even though he was working real hard to try to get out back on the field, and I give him a lot of credit for that. But in the end, he just had to have the surgery, and that was the right thing for Trey. And then from there, okay, so now where do we go? And you know, all these guys have been preparing hard, and you know, we have some good options going into this game.
Ryan, how challenging will it just has been the last week and a half getting down here and trying to have half an eye on Christmas for your kids and the families, but also
Yeah, there's a lot going on a week like this for sure. But that's what this is all about. This time of year is, you know, managing it all, but the focus on our players and the focus on practice and the focus on making sure that our guys are prepared to play in this game. That's the number one thing. But there are a lot of things going on. Like you said, there's the holidays, there's you know, the bowl, and there's events, there's all these types of things. But I think we've done a really good job of keeping the main thing, and that's about playing here on 8 o'clock on Saturday night. So we allowed them to go home for a couple days to be with their families during the holidays, and then everybody met here Christmas night, and then we got back to work. So, you know, we also did our senior tackle the Saturday before we left, and had the senior banquet there on campus, which was a nice event. And then obviously we're able to, you know, help out with the families getting down here to the bowl game as well. You know, so that's great, and you know, most of the families will be here over the next couple days.
specifically Georgia, when you think about all the different things they present, is there something that stands out as like, hey, that part of their team or their game is most impressive?
I think it's just the complete package of three levels, or three phases. You have the offense, defense, and special teams. I think they do a good job in all three phases. You know, I've gone through it all. You know what they do in all those areas, but they have obviously very, very good players and a lot of talented players, recruited very well, and then they're well coached and execute well.